He is Jalen Rose. I am David Jacoby. We are Jalen and Jacoby. What is it that we do? Jalen Rose, Game 3 in Dallas. Dallas looking to avoid a 3-0 hole in the series. And guess what? Andrew Wiggins had himself a game. And this is the highlight that everyone is discussing. Goes up, uses the off arm, gets called for a foul. It is reviewed, and it is just a good bucket. Mr. Rose, this dunk propelled Wiggins and the Mavs and the Warriors to a 3-0 lead.
Absolutely. He was terrific. 27 points, 11 boards, fantastic dunk over the top. The beauty of what I've seen with the Golden State Warriors, Jacoby, started a couple of seasons ago. Normally when you lose a player the caliber of Kevin Durant, that means lottery, especially when you have injuries to Klay Thompson. So what did the Warriors do? They reinvested in their team. You have future investment in Wiseman and Kuminga. Gary Payton II becomes an asset. Jordan Poole gets more minutes. You acquire Andrew Wiggins for the contract of D'Angelo. You bring in Looney to play quality minutes down low, alongside the Splash Brothers and Draymond Green. And when Klay returns and Steph deals with injury, of course they're going to struggle some. When Draymond Green is out with injury, of course they're going to struggle some. But now when they're all back and collectively whole, and Steve Kerr's on the sideline, they're just too much for the Dallas Mavs. Wallace, I'm going to need you to send me my broom for the next show, because this will be a sweep likely. I hope it becomes a gentleman's sweep. That means the Mavs at least win one game because of pride. But 105 minutes were played alongside Luka by Bullock, Powell, Bertans, and Kleber. They played 105 minutes. They scored a total of 5 points.
Oof.
They played 105 minutes and scored 5 points. And coming into this series, I don't care what show it was, I was asked, are the Warriors going to slow down Luka? And like I told you, he's the most dominant perimeter player in the game right now. Nobody's slowing down Luka. And by the way, he still had 40 and 11 really easy. It's just that he doesn't have enough help outside of Brunson and Dinwiddie.
Well, people always ask how they're going to slow down Luka. People always ask me who is the best player left in the playoffs, and every time I said Steph Curry. I was like, people forgot about Steph Curry. There's so much celebration of Tatum and Butler and Luka, but Steph Curry still has that jump shot. And last night, yeah, there's a lot of attention on Wiggins because Wiggins had a game we didn't expect from him. But at this point, we're just expecting and getting 30 points and great shots like this one from Curry every single night.
When you see Steph Curry shoot the ball, and he turns around and looks at the bench before it goes in, that's the equivalent of Wiggins' dunk. That's the equivalent of Jordan tiptoeing on the sideline around the OG Charles Oakley and dunking on Patrick Ewing. That's unheard of. It's literally unheard of for somebody to shoot a three, like pop a shot, turn around like it's no big deal, and then it goes down. That's the beauty of Steph Curry that you're talking about, Jacoby. The most unselfish superstar that I recall, along with Tim Duncan, in the history of the NBA, and here's why. He can get his without dominating the ball. See, so many times people talk about the responsibility of the best player. Usually that's to make everybody else around you better, and we win because we got you. Since Steph doesn't dominate the ball, it's off cuts, it's off down screens, it's off misdirections, it's in the half court, it's in transition. He can even get his off the bounce. Now all of a sudden, it unlocks the attack for everybody else. It allowed Klay to get a couple of shots in. It allowed Wiggins to have a big game like he did. And as we knew coming into this series, the Mavs have already outplayed expectations. Jacoby, this reminds me of last year, the way Trae Young's greatness shot the Atlanta Hawks into the Eastern Conference Finals, and then they were overwhelmed by the Milwaukee Bucks. That's what I'm seeing from the Mavs this year going against the Golden State Warriors.
And after the game, Mavs superstar Luka Doncic added some perspective about expectations and where this young team is. Let's listen to Doncic.
I'm still learning, and I think, after this season is done, whatever we are, I think I'm gonna look back, and learn a lot of things. It's my first time in conference finals in the NBA, so I'm 23, man. I'm still learning a lot.
Jalen, that's a lot of good perspective from Doncic. That also doesn't sound like someone who's at the podium saying we're going to win 4 games in a row against the Warriors and shock the world.
They not going to be able to do it. He know it, you know it, we know it. I just hope it's not a normal sweep, that it's a gentleman's sweep. And again, Luka ascended again this year, Jacoby.
Yep.
Like, he was already considered an all-NBA player and a virtual superstar, but now he's become unstoppable. The unstoppable perimeter player in the NBA, and does it in all phases. And I like the pace that he plays at. Even when he makes a shot at the end of the shot clock, even when he makes a shot at the end of the quarter, you see he never got sped up.
Nope.
He still knocked it down. So Luka has definitely catapulted himself into we're gonna win because we got him status. And it's been a joy to watch.
It'll also be a joy to watch what moves the Mavs make this offseason, because they have some contracts that they could trade. They could improve themselves, certainly at the center position. Rudy Gobert comes to mind. It'll be interesting to see what Mark Cuban and that front office puts together in order to get the right pieces around Luka to get over the hump and get into the finals. Jalen, there's some news about one of your former teammates. Juwan Howard has done a great job at the University of Michigan as the head men's basketball coach, so much so that the Lakers inquired about him. And what did Juwan say, Mr. Rose?
He's not going to be able to do it. And here's a couple of reasons why. The collegiate coach landscape now rivals and or equals the NBA job, because you don't have to leave college to get top dollar anymore. And then the other thing about a college job, you can have it 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Whoever gets this Lex Naker job probably won't have it in 2 or 3 years, even if they do a good job, because the current job is to win right now with LeBron and AD. When this roster turns over and becomes a new iteration, that might call for a new coach. So I am happy that he isn't interviewing for the job. I'm not surprised that he's not interviewing for the job, in particular based on his relationships. We played with Rob Pelinka in college.
Yep.
He played and won a championship with LeBron James with the Miami Heat. And to have Jeannie Buss calling your phone to come do an interview, that's something you always got to consider. But Juwan understands that he went back to Ann Arbor to re-establish a championship, something that we've only been able to achieve one time with the legend OG Glenn Rice and that squad. And I know how much that means to him to try to bring back a championship to Ann Arbor.
It's also hard when you're a college coach to go to the pros because you recruited so many players into that program. But his sons are on the team. Like, that would have been messed up if he left the team that his sons were on in order to coach the Lakers and LeBron James. It is time for one of our signature segments. It is Soft Move or Boss Move.